Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Clicks to Reels. This is Neeraj and we are going to continue on the Lightroom Mobile editing series today. Um, so I'm going to launch again the Kingfisher image and I want you guys to follow me again. And this image is basically what we are. We have a few masks. We have different masks that we created. If you remember, we created the luminance range last in a couple of videos back. Of course, we started with select subjects, background, and brush mask, linear mask. But I hope by now you're really comfortable with Lightroom. One of the things that I really want to show you today is this: the different sharpening and noise and color noise, right? So these are really important tools, especially when you have slightly missed your focus when you are shooting images. I think sharpening really helps, right? I'm going to show you a really important feature here. So as if we go to our edit menu and go to our details, if you go to sharpening, I'm going to zoom in this a little bit, and when I sharpen this, everything around sharpens, right? But let's say I want to only sharpen the kingfisher. So like you see that there's a lot of grain or dots that are created when I increased it. So let's say I decrease the sharpening, so if you see the dots are less, right? There's a lot of, that's a grainy feature that got created. So I don't want the entire image to be sharpened. What I want is, I want only the kingfisher or a little bit around it to be sharpened. So there's an interesting slider here called as masking, right? You can actually um, target masking here and using. So what I want you to do is, when you touch this image and you slide it, it actually shows you which part of the image you want to sharpen. So now at this point, if you see, I want only the kingfisher to be sharpened. So when I'm at masking 85, only the kingfisher is highlighted and only that portion and a little bit above will be sharpened. So if I leave it at this, and now if I zoom in and when I hit sharpening, only the kingfisher will get sharpened, and if you see, the grainy part is only created on the kingfisher because that is what we highlighted. So whereas the thing around the kingfisher, the background, is not grainy because we didn't highlight that. So remember, whenever you add sharpening, make sure you don't add it to the entire image but only select what you want to do, and to a certain extent masking will really help you. Okay, so just remember that. So now if we go back to detail and go back to this noise, noise is something that is created when you take a picture and there is less light and the camera wants to create more light. So if you see a lot of grains, you can actually increase the noise and get rid of it. So like if you see, it becomes much more smoother. It's not it's not a good feature when you want the details, but if you don't want the details and if you want to smoothen the image, I think it's a great feature. So again, use it depending on the image that you are editing, how you want the composition. So now in this case, I am making it smoother by increasing or the noise reduction. So like now if you see, the image is more smoother, but it looks sometimes very artificial when you do this. I'm not a really big fan of increasing the noise too much. Probably I stick to around somewhere 10 to maybe 25. I think beyond 25 it looks very artificial. So similarly, if you go back to the detail and you have the color, it does the same thing with the color. So some of the color noise it will reduce. Again, if you want to decrease or increase the smoothness, you can play around with it. But the fundamental thing I want you to remember is that composition is important. You have to decide upfront how you want your image to look, which areas you need smoother, which areas you need sharper, and accordingly you have to use these tools. So again, there is no right or wrong um, way to do it, but again it depends on your composition, how your audience wants to see your image, how your audience likes your images, how you like, first of all, the basic thing is you have to be happy with your image and then worry about your audience. So it's really important. So it's really important that you are happy with your images and then you show it in front of the audience. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope you learned a lot through this whole Lightroom series, and I would love to hear any feedback, any new things that you have realized that maybe it's easy for me to learn. Definitely put it in comments, and thank you so much for watching Clicks to Reels. As usual, like, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you.